Alright, here's my audience, his wife, brother and sister, in a hotel in Montana. So anyway, my informative speech is on an East Coast trip we took to Washington, D.C. 2 years ago. Now, while a trip like this can be fun, rewarding, and um, informative, there was a lot of things that you should be aware of if you're going to take a trip like this that the information sites don't really give you. So first of all, we flew into Baltimore Washington International Airport, and one of the first things that really grabbed our attention when we got to our hotel was no free parking. It's $20 a night to park your vehicle, which happened, I guess, apparently is starting to be the standard in bigger cities. The size of the streets, the size of the main streets were great. You know, the flow of traffic, organization, you found out where everything was pretty easy. The side streets, not so much. It wasn't difficult to find things, but they were a lot smaller. No street parking. Um, so obviously you had to pay that $20 a night. Now we didn't have to because they messed up our hotel room and they comped our parking, so it was awesome. One of the greatest things, there's three really awesome things in Washington, D.C. for me, was the National Firearms Museum, which for a guy like me was euphoric. And the other two things was the National Archives and Arlington National Cemetery. Two things I'll never forget. So I'm a history buff and very patriotic. So when you're standing in that room with the National Archives and you're looking at the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, it puts a whole lot of things in perspective. And the wash of emotions was something I'll never forget. And then, of course, going to Arlington National Cemetery. I would an immense respect for our military men and women and what they have to go through, and just the cost of freedom is put in a picture there. The place is vast, 640 acres, over 400,000 graves is what it costs for us to live in this country. That's approximately 1 square mile, if you can envision that, which is a lot of land for a big city to encompass one item, you might say. But that is also a military base. That's where they guard the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Very cool. It is guarded 365 days a year, rain or shine. They change the guard there every 30 minutes. Again, very, very cool. So another thing that really grabbed our attention there that you didn't really see a whole lot of is the stores there are blended in with the surroundings. Probably a historical sort of thing, but like we went to Walmart, you would never find it if you didn't have a GPS. Thank God for that. I mean, there is no big Walmart sign. It's all brick, red brick and more. It's upstairs and downstairs. It's in basements. There's a grocery store right down the road from our hotel. I walked down there. It was about a block. I passed it without knowing it. I had to come back, and found it was actually downstairs in a basement. Not a really big one. It's what they consider a supermarket. Kind of scary. Another thing that was really shocking to us is property value. Our hotel is surrounded by people with private property, so these buildings are city block sizes. There is zero space in between them. They're approximately 24 feet wide, 60 feet long, and anywhere from 3 to 4 stories if they include a basement. Their front yard can be measured in square feet and probably even square inches. It's that small. And they are around, the guy we talked to was offered $2 million for his. And that was in Foggy Bottom, which is about where the State Department is located. Around here, about 11 years ago, we bought our property for $500,000. 15 acres, 2,000 square foot house, roughly. It's just hugely shocking with the property value difference. And that was pretty. What that guy told us is it was pretty common. And if you kept your house historically significant, obviously it was worth more money. Now, obviously, as cool as all this was, one thing that you will notice immediately is the vast size, the enormity of our government, and with that, obviously, a massive amount of government waste. Okay, I came upon a couple of quotes by Mr. P.J. O'Rourke. The first one is giving money and power to government is like giving whiskey and car keys to a teenage boy. The outcome is pretty predictable, and very seldom is it a good. The other one is it is a popular delusion that government wastes vast amount of money through inefficiency and sloth. Enormous efforts and elaborate planning are required to waste this much money. So one of the things you notice, again, like I said, these buildings are city blocks in size. They go from sidewalk to sidewalk, and they're anywhere from 6 to 9 stories tall, and that depends if it includes a basement. You could literally land an airplane on top of one of these buildings. It was amazing. Just the size of the State Department alone is incredible. 69,000 people that are employed by the State Department, according to Wikipedia, which I'm pretty sure they nailed that one because that's public information. But anyway, 69,000 people. Salem is 160, so that's just short of half the size of Salem, just to put it in perspective. So, well, Washington was built to be, a power central, to be imposing home field advantage, you might say, by Mr. Pierre L'Enfant, starting in 1791. Is when they designed it, and it was built to be huge and like I said, imposing. And he scored. He nailed that one. However, like I said, the amount of government waste is just huge. All these buildings, you're block after block after block of these, city block sized buildings, full of just full of government workers, that we're paying to do God knows what. I believe that in the Senate offices alone allow for every senator to have 20,000 square feet each, if you divided it evenly. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So, anyway, I hope that was informative and you have a better idea of what's going on there. Oh, one thing I forgot was the toll roads, government waste, toll roads. Oh my goodness, $200 in toll roads going from Washington D.C. to New York City. And it ranged anywhere from $2 to $20, and I'm pretty sure they didn't bother to use it on the roads because there was potholes everywhere. Anyway, just keep that in mind. If you're going to drive, take a lot of extra money with you.